after surprise, that fans were starting to expect it. And now when we think there's a surprise coming, we're let down because it's not what we were expecting. So wrestling has to change in a way that they have to guard their secrets a little better. I think the internet has killed professional wrestling in a lot of ways. It can come back as long as it starts controlling what's leaked and what's spoiled. And I think All Elite Wrestling has a unique opportunity here to control their own narrative by controlling what fans are learning ahead of time. And I think the reaction for Jericho signing at the rally could have been a lot bigger if we didn't already know about it. I mean, Pac was a good surprise. He's not a major star. The WWE kind of killed him by making him sit out the remainder of his contract. So when we saw him, it was a surprise. It was a shock. Nobody saw it coming. But I don't think the reaction from the crowd in Jacksonville was a reaction they really wanted. I think they wanted the crowd to pop big, and I don't think they did. Pac was a surprise, sure. He wasn't like a John Cena signing. The crowd would have went nuts, or Kenny Omega coming out finally revealing he signed, even though he can't sign until his contract with New Japan runs out. Like, that would have been a major surprise. That would have been something to have a rally around. I honestly think, though, the WWE should be extremely worried about All Elite Wrestling. We're already hearing rumors about people in WWE asking for their releases. I don't know that I believe the Revival asking for their release is legit. I think it might be part of the storyline, because if you've been watching the past couple weeks on Raw, they've been losing, and Corey Graves has been calling for some conspiracy. I think this could be part of a storyline that the Revival is asking for their release. We'll see how that unfolds on Monday Night Raw. I could be wrong. Maybe they did ask for their release. I wouldn't blame them if they did. They've been stuck on TV with the Lucha House Party of all people, when they should be tag team champions. They should be at least competing for the tag team titles. I don't think Bobby Roode and Chad Gable are good tag champions. They're honestly, they're just very bland. I don't get why they've been given that chance, that opportunity, when a good team like the Revival has been just wasted on Monday Night Raw. And I think there might be something going on with them, because I don't think Seth Rollins would have brought him up in that interview a couple weeks ago, where he said WWE needs to change, and then the WWE promised to change, and the Revival got their tag title shot. They lost in questionable ways. They keep losing matches in questionable ways. They're calling conspiracies. I think it might be part of a storyline that they're trying to do something realistic, where they ask for their release on TV. I think there's something else going on there major that the storyline might develop a little further. So maybe tonight on Raw we'll hear a little bit more of what's going on with the Revival. If we don't see them on TV, maybe they did get their release. Also, it's rumored that Mike Bennett and Maria have asked for their releases, and again, wouldn't surprise me one bit, because they haven't been on TV. Mike Bennett got sent to 205 Live. He was on there for a couple weeks, and then he hasn't been on in a while. So clearly they don't know what to do with him, which is sad, because he's a good talent, and Maria in his corner could have been a good, interesting character group, husband and wife dominating the singles division. But for some reason they don't have faith in the guy, and it could be because of his past drug use. WWE doesn't have high hopes for people, that are drug addicts. But Mike Bennett has pulled himself around. He's, if you see him, he's working out constantly. He's gotten out of that addiction. So, and Maria, his wife, has always been behind him, and she's always been a good character. So who knows what they're doing with them. Also rumored is Dolph Ziggler has asked for his release. He has not been on TV since he lost a match to Drew McIntyre on Raw before Christmas, I believe, or maybe the Christmas week or the week after. But it's been a while. I think they offered him a producer role, and he turned it down. So we'll find out what's going on with these talents hopefully soon, and if we're going to see them end up in All Elite Wrestling. So, I mean, it's already started. The rumors have already started that people are asking for their releases from WWE. They're seeing an opportunity out there for them with All Elite Wrestling. I think it's kind of premature for them to be doing this because they don't know what All Elite Wrestling is going to be yet. We don't know yet. We know it's a promotion. We know they're going to have a show in May in Las Vegas, Double or Nothing. We know they're planning shows beyond that, one in Jacksonville. But we don't know what their weekly situation is going to be. Are they going to be on TV? Are they going to be a promotion that only holds events 4 times a year? We don't know too much yet. And we know it's coming. We know the announcements are coming. But we still don't know what that is, and we don't know what they're offering talent. So it's kind of premature to be thinking everybody that's not on TV is asking for their release. So these rumors, take them with a grain of salt because we don't know anything for sure. And honestly, if the WWE is going to release somebody, we're going to see them future endeavored online soon. So again, take anything you hear with a grain of salt online right now. I think the buzz behind All Elite Wrestling is causing the rumors to fuel. Just because we haven't seen somebody on TV for a week, they must have asked for their release. No, we don't know that for sure. We know AJ Styles' contract is coming up. So we don't know where he's going to end up, if he's going to re-sign. I think he'd re-sign with WWE. WWE gave him a good run. He's been WWE champion. He really has grown into a huge star with the WWE. So it'd be kind of a shame to see him leave, but I think he would just continue his rise to stardom in All Elite Wrestling. And he would be a big name for them to get and would kind of cement them as real competition for the WWE. So it's going to be an interesting few months, especially going into May for Double or Nothing. It'll be interesting to hear the end of the month where Kenny Omega is going to end up. I personally would like to see him end up in All Elite Wrestling, so he'll have some kind of creative control over his character. I think if he went to WWE right now, they would kind of Shinsuke Nakamura him, where they brought him in with all this great fanfare, and then they ended up kind of killing his character on the main roster. And I don't want that to happen to Kenny Omega. I want him to be a star in America, and I think the only way for him to do that right now is to do it with All Elite Wrestling. And I really think he's going to sign with his friends. The WWE may be offering him huge money, but I think he's at the point of his career where he doesn't need the money. He just wants to be a great wrestler and show off his skills. And I think All Elite Wrestling is a place for him to do that. So I'm hoping All Elite Wrestling is going to be serious competition for WWE because it's only going to improve the WWE's product. Right now, they keep saying they're going to improve their product, and it just looks like the same old stuff. So it's tough. I'm hoping this Sunday's Royal Rumble will kind of shake things up in the WWE. I think a good start is the Brock Lesnar and Finn Balor Universal Championship match. I would love to see Finn Balor win that title from Brock Lesnar because not having a champion on TV is hurting the Raw product. I think Brock is back through WrestleMania. They plan on him facing Seth Rollins at WrestleMania and Seth Rollins beating him for the title at WrestleMania. So that might be their plan, but I think if they're going to shake things up, I think a bigger main event at this point would be Seth and Finn. And if you think about it, Finn and Seth have met before for the Universal Championship. SummerSlam, when Finn Balor won the first ever Universal Championship, he defeated Seth Rollins. And they haven't really had a feud over the Universal Championship since. So I would like to see that as the main event of WrestleMania. And I think on the SmackDown side of things, Daniel Bryan is defending his World Championship against AJ Styles again at the Rumble. I'd like to see Daniel Bryan continue to hold that title until WrestleMania. And I think whoever wins the Royal Rumble this Sunday will challenge Daniel Bryan for that title. I honestly would love to see a main event at WrestleMania between Daniel Bryan and against a younger talent, maybe somebody like the Velveteen Dream. He's not advertised right now for the Rumble, but there's 18 guys advertised, 12 spots left. So there's going to be some surprises, and I would assume some NXT call-ups. Maybe even EC3 against Daniel Bryan. I think he needs like a younger talent to work against to make. If they plan on taking the title away from him at WrestleMania, I really think a younger talent needs to be in that spot with Daniel Bryan. They need to have their big main event that they can build up between now and then, and they need to have a main event where they can build a star. So we know The Undertaker is probably going to come back for WrestleMania. We don't know who he's going to face yet. I'm sure that'll come to light in the next couple weeks on Raw, especially between Rumble and their next February event. I think that's Fastlane usually, or Elimination Chamber, whatever they're going with this year. So it's hard to say what's what and what's going to shake out of the Rumble, but I personally would love to see the Velveteen Dream make his main roster debut at the Rumble and win it. I think that would be a big shakeup right there, and go to SmackDown, because I think SmackDown really needs some stronger personalities, and I think Raw needs some stronger wrestlers. So I think AJ Styles should be on Raw after the Rumble, or after the shakeup, or after Mania. He needs to be on Raw. They need a good wrestler on Raw. SmackDown's been the wrestling heavy show, but I think if they shake things up a little bit, Raw really needs to be the heavier wrestling show. Especially when AEW is coming, we know they're going to be wrestling heavy, like a Ring of Honor or New Japan. That's the style I think they want to mold after. So it's going to be so interesting this year, and wrestling is going to be so interesting. And even on the local level, just coming up in February, on February 9th, we have New York Championship Wrestling presenting Under Pressure. We know the Stepdads are going to defend the NYCW Tag Team titles against The Street. It's going to be an amazing match. The Street are great young talent, and the Stepdads are great fan favorite tag team champions. It's going to be an interesting match to see who the crowd gets behind. We know High Voltage Omar is going to take on Fox Avenir. We know the Team España is going to take on Killer Instinct. There was a video reveal of a women's match. I didn't quite catch the names of the two competitors. Someone in a mask, face paint, telling her opponent to fear the dark. Not sure who either of those women are yet. I've never encountered them in person myself. So we'll see what that's about. So we'll be hearing more match announcements, I'm sure, from New York Championship Wrestling. On the same night, February 9th, is also Immortal Championship Wrestling is having a show in Amsterdam, New York. Their Immortal Combat Edition. And we know it's going to be a series of gauntlet matches after 6 qualifying matches, and someone's going to be crowned the Immortal Champion that night. We know it's featuring right now Brute Van Slyke, Robo, the Dynasty Champion, Rick Recon, one of our first guests here on the podcast, Tyler Vincent, Robbie E. of Impact fame, El Jefe, Manny Martinez, and some other big stars. So it's going to be a good show in Amsterdam on February 9th. That's at the Amsterdam Elks Lodge in Amsterdam. The doors there open at 6, and the show starts at 6:45. That's for Immortal Championship Wrestling, Immortal Combat Championship Edition. That's Mike King's promotion. You'll know Mike King from the Dynasty. Him and Chris Envy have split. We don't know if the Dynasty is going to be back in the central New York area anytime soon. But Mike King is here to stay in the Albany capital region of New York State. So I think he's planning a show coming back to Rome soon. So we'll hear more about that soon, I'm sure. So it's going to be an interesting night. There's 2 shows to choose from, one in Whitesboro, one in Amsterdam. Amsterdam's...
Which one?
going to be the Immortal and White Sparrow's New York Championship Wrestling as usual at the Accelerate Sports Complex.